Welcome, everybody. It's your girl, Delores, just the pink girl in my pink world, here on every social platform with my good brother, J News. J News, do you got something to tell the good people?
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody here on the East Coast. Good morning for those on the West Coast and wherever else in the world that you're at. Welcome to the Hit the Roast podcast. Me and Dolores are about to break down the week that was in professional wrestling. So gear up and let's get started, folks.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know the Hit the Ropes podcast, it's me and J News going all over the reviews, the previews of everything going down here in professional wrestling. J News, it's been a lot going on. We done got
Has there really?
the new streaming deal, which I talked about at the end of last week. How do you feel about that?
Streaming deal,
But
the,
we
the,
getting
the
the
WWE
WWE.
thing, you mean?
So I talked about a little bit about it last week. I also told Xfinity, please do the right thing by me because uh, trying to see if I can hear J News. J News, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I know my,
I'm here.
I know the internet ain't taking my baby out. Like
Yeah,
I was
I'm here.
saying, what did you think about the streaming deal? I told them now wait to get your thoughts about it because I was a little upset until they told me that it wouldn't quite affect me. So I was like, okay.
I mean, it didn't really affect me either. I know there was a lot of initial backlash with the initial reporting and things of that nature about the deal. That is WWE going to have their PLEs, their premium live events on ESPN's app, as they call it. Uh, Eventually, it ended up being where those folks who do have ESPN with a cable provider, such as like you're stating yourself about Xfinity. Me myself, I have Verizon and things of that nature, whatever the case is. People who have Dish, Optimum, Charter, whatever. For folks who already have ESPN as part of their cable packages, they don't have to worry about paying that extra $29.99 a month, so they're safe on that side. It's just going to be converted over to that ESPN app instead of the PLEs being on Peacock. But for those folks who have decided to cut the cord, like the majority of Americans have, yeah, $30 a month for WWE PLEs. That's quite the undertaking for folks who might not necessarily be that heavily invested in professional wrestling, especially for shows that come on. I mean, at this point with WWE, it's about 2 to 3 times a month. You know, one WWE pay-per-view, one NXT pay-per-view. Now with, I mean, not even AAA necessarily, because AAA is still doing the thing on YouTube, but WWE does their due diligence with these premium live events on a monthly basis. So whatever way you want to split it, you know, minimum 2 PLEs a month or whatever. If you want to bring it down the middle, it's $15 per event. Even that might be a little bit too much for people. So
I think the concern was, which I didn't talk about last week, the initial concern I had when they said ESPN wasn't the cost. Okay, $30. Most of you all who complain about $30 spend $30 at Pizza Hut. Make it make sense. But at a certain point, it was when they moved UFC. For those who don't know, I am a big like fight fan. I like boxing. I like UFC. I like all of that. When they moved to ESPN, I had to get ESPN Plus. That's how I got it. But to get the pay-per-views, you have to pay $80. So you paying 30 on top of 80. And I was like, that don't make no sense. But I like ESPN and some of the shows they had on there. So I kept it a part of my package. But as far as like, and plus I'm a football fan, so my team is the Green Bay Packers. I live in Georgia. We can't see them, so for me to get like real time clips and highlights, I needed the ESPN package. So that was my first concern. Is this something that I like UFC that I'm paying in just to pay in? So like essentially it's like UFC a pay-per-view off the channel might be $100. But they were saying, oh, you keep this package, you get like you pay 60, 70, $80 instead of paying the whole 100, which if you do the math, it equates the whole 100. So that was my thing. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't like me paying in to still have to buy something. Even with Triller TV, like the other day, which they went down on their prices. TNA used to be, I pay for Triller TV, I watch TNA, still spending $30, $40. Luckily, Friday, their pay-per-view was $10. So that's the thing about it. Some of these companies, you're buying in and then realizing you still have to buy. And that was the problem a lot of people were concerned with. The $30 amount shouldn't be a problem to anybody. You all spend $30 on minor stuff, $30 on hair and nails, $30. I mean, I spend more than that, but $30 on trivial things that are not important to you that you break, snatch, eat, swallow, whatever. So if you really love wrestling, it's just $30. Plus, you're getting extra stuff with it. But
yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? It's a when it comes to wanting to support the wrestling or wanting to support the company and things of that nature, like it wouldn't necessarily be a detriment to folks like that. But for others who don't necessarily want to add another streaming service to their existing amount of streaming services, I can definitely understand as to why people would be upset and not wanting to pay an extra $30, especially when $30 a month for just two shows at a maximum at the end of the day doesn't really do much
well,
for
I think
you.
they're going to add more shows and more stuff on there because eventually Saudi Arabia wants the same amount of things as they want their own WrestleMania. They want their own special pay-per-views. And so now this might become you still have 2-day WrestleMania in the United States and then you have WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. You might have 2-night SummerSlam, but there might be a SummerSlam in Saudi Arabia. They want their own versions of pay-per-views in their country. And so this might be more of that, which I don't like the early start times for that. It kind of irritates me. Clash is at 2. There were times where Clash was like super early in the morning, and I was like, I can't take it. Even I would say I would be willing to pay the $30 because their bills are crap, but the shows are good. Okay. Whereas I know when I pay AEW $60, I'm gonna be sitting there 6 hours, which is worth my money. But yet we might do this once or twice a month at the most. And that's when they were doing it twice a month. That literally, for those who don't know, before I learned some things, I was paying for this. And so two $60 pay-per-views a month was like, hold on now. Hold on now. I got Peacock. I don't, premium is like 10, 15, $20. This is that was I was fussing about. But now that they done cut their shows to like once a month, maybe here and there, that's okay. I don't mind paying it. But it's the fact that also, and I've learned some new things. But also, it's just the fact that I think WWE plans on doing way, way more. And I'm not going to tell you a lie. I think they're going to acquire more companies. And so, especially outside of the country, they're going to buy a lot of companies up because they're for those who don't think, they're going to try to monopolize this. They're trying to make it hard. As far as streaming platforms, they are doing this for a purpose. And somebody pointed out that they have hit cable, they've hit streaming services, they've hit they did everything. They're trying to monopolize everything when it comes to wrestling, from movies to shows to documentaries. They're trying to get everything. So you're their first choice instead of the second or the third. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go. And you to the Hit the Rope Studio podcast. You already know what time it is. It's time for what, J News? It's time for review. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna start off with Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw on 1681 on the 11th on Netflix. Dominic Mysterio and El Grande Americano defeated AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. We'll talk about how that came around full circle. Sami Zayn defeated Rusev by DQ. Roxanne Perez defeated Io Sky. For the WWE Women's Intercontinental title match, Becky Lynch defeated Maxine Dupree. Ladies and gentlemen, CM Punk and LA Knight defeated the Vision of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed by DQ. J News, what did you think about this?
As for Raw this week, yeah, man, I was having a conversation with a close friend of mine over the week about the WWE product and how I just feel like I haven't been able to get into it as of late. I'm more analytical with it than being a fan of it nowadays. I can understand how popular Dominic Mysterio is and how whoever they have behind the El Grande Americano mask seems to be getting over with the fan base and things of that nature.
Ludwig. If you saw last night, we'll talk about it eventually. I was shocked on how things went in the entrances and how they treated Dom and Americano compared to how they treated El Higo del Vikingo. I was like, hey, y'all really don't like this man, I see.
It's definitely a different feel when it comes to what the WWE has been doing with AAA. So I'm still trying to adjust to all that. At the end of the day, I guess I can sound like an old man at this point, and it's like it's not the AAA I grew up on necessarily. And everything evolves, everything changes over time, but like something about it just seems off.
You know what it is? And I think Steven Larson mentioned it last night. We're so used to the chaos that the fact that it was slowed down, that it was like, I'm used to the Copa Badal match, the cup, being like cluster, like everybody just everywhere, everything's happening. I'm looking over here, I'm trying to figure out what's over there. I see somebody flying over here. And that's not the craziness wasn't there. We did have some fun moments, like we'll talk about the demon and all the rest of that, but it just seems like contained. Where normally it's just like I've watched it early in the morning, late at night, and I've been looking at it like, what in the is happening? Who is this? What are they doing? What? I don't know who this is. I don't know where this character come from. They're flying from here and there. Now it's like they were talking, interacting, having like, when would you thought that Nino Hamburguesa would have had a like solo moment in the ring with Finn Balor? Like that's something that I don't think we would have ever got. And many people talked about that. They're kind of like making it's more about the character than the spectacle. And I can agree with it. They're making AAA more about characters than the spectacle of like high flying, extravaganza, craziness. They're trying to make it like the characters stand out more than the wrestling does, which is WWE period.
I guess you can say that. I don't necessarily I won't wholeheartedly agree, but we'll get there when we get there. As per the rest of Raw, Sami Zayn winning by DQ. That happened because the MFTs came down to interfere in his match. We'll talk about what ended up happening on SmackDown with Sami Zayn and the MFTs and the rest of that stuff or whatever. Roxanne defeating Io Sky was a little bit surprising to me, but at the end of the day, that went down with shenanigans, so it is what it is. The WWE's Women's Intercontinental match, Becky Lynch. There was just no way it was going to be believable for Maxine Dupree to beat Becky Lynch, but it was interesting to see where Maxine is in ring wise with her skill set and things of that nature. And I truly do believe that she's gotten a lot better. Depending as to if they'll ever let her not let her, but depending as to whenever she puts it all together, only time will tell.
I really don't.
So then we had CM Punk LA Knight defeat I forgot that they named the group, the Vision, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, and all that stuff. They defeated them by DQ. I believe at some point Seth Rollins got involved, and I think Jey Uso. This is where Jey Uso came down or whatever, and he got put into the Fatal 4-Way match at whatever the next event's going to be.
Clash.
That's
in
Clash of Paris, right?
Yeah, Clash of Paris.
Yeah. So that threw me off a bit just because of where everything's been going as of late. I thought that Jey would eventually. I thought Jey was going to end up back on SmackDown for a little bit, just to join up with his brother, and to help out with the Jacob Fatu situation. But we'll get to when we get to SmackDown, we'll see what actually happened. And yeah, that was what that was for Raw.
I think they're not putting them back together because it's like, I think no matter what WWE says, if they don't see other companies, if they don't hear certain things, they see that we have complained about the Usos being like, oh, it's the Usos again. Oh, the Usos, all the brothers gonna get back together again. But what the common thing lately is, what in the hell is going on with Matt and Nick over there? And so why would you, if you see another company is trying, the brothers, they've been sticking together, they haven't really snapped apart, why would you, when you got one of the two brothers in your company doing well, put them back together? We've seen it. We've seen them go to the highest of highs, to the lowest of lows. We've seen them fight each other at WrestleMania, which did not work out at all. We've seen all of that. So it seems like they're like, let us just cool them off ice cold away from each other and then put them back together and let them build up. But right now, while Jey is hot by himself, let him keep running by himself. We don't need Jimmy right now, which I feel bad for Jimmy because I think he has the potential to be as good as Jey, but he has the in-ring ability. Jey has the personable mic skills to connect to fans. I think that's what made them so good to each other. One can do better than the other, and when they together, they both are good. But I would rather right now see them separate for a while because we've seen for years them be stuck together, and it's only because they're brothers and they have to stand next to each other. Like sometimes you have to fend on your own, sir. I'm out here making money, doing what I got to do. You got to fend on your own. But we'll probably see them get together, when they do that fake draft. Ladies and gentlemen, me and J News, you know where we're going. We're going to the back because we're going on to the next episode of NXT 798 on the 12th on the CW. We had Nia Jax defeat Lash Legend. Joe Hendry defeat Charlie Dempsey. Kalani Jordan and Lola Vice defeat Fatal Influence of Fallon Henley and JC Jane. We had Alba Fire defeat Kendall Gray. Dark State, of Cutler Jones, Deion Lennox, Osiris Griffin, Shaquan Sugars defeat Javon Evans, Obafemi, and Trick Williams. J News, did you see this and what did you think?
Oh boy. So hey Tori, what's going on, man? I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. Week by week for the last 3 weeks, NXT is becoming more and more unwatchable.
Stop.
And that is tough to say just because I am usually very objective when it comes to people who are new to the business, learning the business, and things of that nature. But as of right now, with everything that's going on, specifically the title situations on every level, it's just not hitting for me. To point out the positives of the show, I think that Nia Jackson Lash Legend went at it. I thought that was a good match between the two girls and stuff like that, showing off their varied offenses and things of that nature, and how power can look in different dynamics. So I can respect Lash and Nia on that. The Joe Hendry boat has sailed for me. It sailed for me a while ago. Um, I said this elsewhere, but I'll say it here as well. Charlie Dempsey, son of William Regal, understandably so, is with the WWE. Me personally, I think Charlie Dempsey's in the wrong company. Um, NXT is not where Charlie Dempsey should be honing his craft. That's just my personal opinion. And I've been on the boat of Free Rent Sinclair for a long period of time because I hate having her lose every single match. She's just being used as a freaking as enhancement talent, and the girl's hella talented in the ring. So whatever they plan on doing with Ren Sinclair in the future, I hope that it's something good and something positive. But what she's doing right now, being more or less of a comedic sidekick, in this particular instance, now with a completely disbanded NQCC, uh, I need more evolution out of Ren, and I need less losses out of Ren as well. Kalani and Lola, they look good together, but they're not necessarily the best of friends. That's the way that I took it. Fatal Influence, they're still going through their stuff. It seems like Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix will eventually turn on JC Jane at some point, because JC Jane seems like she's full of herself. I'm still on the boat where JC Jane shouldn't be champion, period, on any level, NXT or TNA. That whole women's title scene with her win at that TNA event, I think, has stalled everything. And I understand it's been 2 weeks, but even when Jason Jane was just NXT Women's Champion, I feel that stalled a bit as well. That there's too many girls on that roster for them to keep JC Jane, one, away from all the girls, and then secondarily in place as champion for as long as they have, since they gave her that championship. The Alba Fire match, I'm always prime to watch an Alba Fire match, formerly known as Kaylee Ray. I think she's one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. What she's doing right now with the Secret Hervis and Piper and Chelsea is great because she gets to be on TV and she gets all that exposure every week. So much power to her. I just like to see her wrestle more often, from a singles perspective. I think this is the first time I saw Kendall Gray wrestle on NXT in a while, if ever, because I remember hearing her name before, but it wasn't too bad. But this was more of a showing strength of Alba's offense more than anything else on the NXT show. And then I said this before here on the Hit the Rose podcast, the Dark State thing that ran its course real quick, and that has more to do with the booking of that group than anything else. And then they still have the hodgepodge of all the guys who are supposed to be in the main event scene, be it Javon Evans, Moose, Obafemi, Trick Williams, that gathering of dudes. I'm still not sold on any of them outside of Obafemi. And I lost my interest in Moose years ago. And Trick, I guess he's doing the best that he can with what he's been given. At times, I feel like the booking and the character work makes Trick Williams look more like a joke than a villain. But I think that's more balanced and within Trick's delivery when it comes to his promos and his ability to sell in the ring than anything else. So that's got to come together more for Trick than anything else. But yeah, that's what I got to say about NXT. You're muted, Dolores.
There we go. Love you, Slim. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, when we get through with SmackDown, we'll be talking about the pay-per-view, which we saw yesterday, that Slim was a part of on the channel. So appreciate you, Slim. Appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go back to the way back. Wow. And we're gonna go on to the next show, which is SmackDown. Ladies and gentlemen, SmackDown was SmackDown 1356 on the 15th, which was Friday, on USA Network. Alexa Bliss defeated Piper Niven. Mello Don't Miss. Let's see, every time I say her name, she comes up. Mello Don't Miss, Carmelo Hayes and The Miz defeated Fraxium, which was Axiom and Nathan Frazier. We had the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford defeat DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. We had Jacob Fatu, Jimmy Uso, and Sami Zayn defeat MFT, which is Jeff Cobb. Okay, I hate this name they gave him. JC Mateo, Solo Sokoa, and Tongaloa. Okay, J News, did you see this? What did you think?
I did see this. As I stated before, I have an affinity for what they've been doing with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte lately, from a character standpoint. This match broke down by the end of it all. It seems like they're really putting an emphasis on putting the Secret Service tag team into a feud with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. So we'll probably end up seeing that at some mainline PLE down the road. But after Alexa defeated Piper Niven, the Secret Service as a squad beat down Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. So we'll probably see whatever the fallout of that come this week on SmackDown. Mello Don't Miz versus the defeated Fraxium, which is what I'm surprised at. But hey, Mello's on TV. Can't be mad at that, right?
Are you surprised they won or that him and the Miz are together? Because as soon as I saw Fraxium, I automatically knew that they were gonna lose.
No, I'm surprised at both. I was thinking this before because I was reading the rundown. For all intents and purposes, this is my own personal bias, so I'll say it out loud. The WWE thinks very highly of the Miz, and I am not going to take that away because of all the hard work and dedication that the Miz has given to the WWE. But from a fan perspective, for somebody who likes professional wrestling, the in-ring stuff, the Miz isn't the person that the WWE thinks he is from a credibility standpoint. So putting him with Carmelo Hayes, for me, I would have rather Carmelo been hooked up with Truth, or become a young boy for the Street Profits, something. But the Miz is not the way to go. That's just my personal opinion. The tag team stuff, the tag team match stuff, Street Profits versus DIY, they continue that whole rigmarole with their tag teams there. So another good match. It was cool. DIY can't do no wrong in my eyes. The Street Profits are great. But people keep on clamoring for Montez Ford to go solo, so we'll see about that. Will we ever rehash Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa one-on-one down the line? Who knows at this point, but the tag team match itself was pretty cool. And then they opened the show with the MFTs doing their promo. And then during their promo, Sami Zayn came out to talk to Solo Sikoa, and Sami Zayn announced that he was now part of SmackDown, which is the point that I brought up during the review of Raw. It seems that instead of sending Jay Uso to SmackDown for a temporary period, they sent Sami Zayn to SmackDown indefinitely, or permanently, should I say, in order to wrap himself and immerse himself in that world there, getting back together with his Big Jim. And now he's going after the United States Championship that is currently held by Solo Sikoa. So that worked out the way that it did. I don't necessarily know what direction they're going with in terms of Jacob Fatu. But, I think that a lot of folks continuously believe that as long as they get TV time, they're good. And sometimes the stuff that gets put on TV isn't good. Exposure is one thing. Forward motion and momentum and progress is another. So for right now, I'm not sure as to what direction they're going to with Jacob Fatu or Jimmy at this point. Obviously, Sammy has a clear direction, and the rest of the members of MFT just seem to just be there, and that kind of sucks to say. So we'll see. We'll see how it all breaks down in the future, though.
Yes. From my point of view, last week is where this started. That the Miz seems to be openly lying to Carmelo, so that's gonna cause fiction between the two of them. As far as the Alexa Bliss Charlotte thing, I absolutely love them. If you all do not know, yesterday I mentioned J News wasn't here for it, but the little space buns I have now were curls, two ponytail curls. And I got it from Charlotte and them because they did this video where afterwards where Alexa was like, you know that the meme was like, "Don't you do it?" And then she said, "Girl, I won't do it." She's like, "But I did it." And Alexa has the two ponytails, and she was telling Charlotte, "Girl, don't do it." And Charlotte's like, "I won't do it." And then Charlotte comes up, and she's like, "Girl, I did it," and she did it, and she was just so happy and free. And I'm like, this is a Charlotte that I thought personally I would never be able to see. I thought A-hole Charlotte was gonna be the Charlotte that we saw for all our lives. That even when she tried to be good that time, it didn't work out. Miz, he stabbing Mark Carmelo. We already see it. He told Carmelo last week, "Hey, buddy, I got us a match." Then he said, "I just got out of the office talking to uh not Nick. It was I don't forgot who it was. But then homeboy pulls up and he's like, "Well, let me talk to you in the office." "Well, sir, you lied. So we see you lie." That's what I also want to go back to. Where people used to, you remember back in the day during the Attitude Era when they looked at the TV screen while matches happened, or they would look at the screen and find out what happened 2 seconds ago? Why are we pretending like Carmelo has not seen that this man has lied to him in his face? Street Profits, that match set up last week was crazy. Because B-Fab, even though I don't like your wrestling, you told the truth. When Candace said, "I'm hurt, look at me." And she was like, "But your husband got you hurt. And he didn't even come check on you." Listen, I enjoyed the realness in that. Because she's like, "We ain't gonna play like we don't know. You got hurt because you were doing your own stuff. And guess what? Your husband didn't come check on you. That sounds like a you and your husband problem, not me." And I appreciate the realness in that little moment where it's like they could have scripted it any kind of way, and we know WWE they would have done it. But as far as Sami Zayn and the Usos together, I kind of see why they put them together, not just because of the. Most people don't remember back in NXT days when Sammy was dancing and having fun with the Usos. He kind of was like, even before the main roster, they're like buddy on camera. So helping Usos and helping Jacob wouldn't be any different. Also, shout out to Roman. For the past, 2-3 weeks, you've been getting your shoes taken, sir. CM Punk, you've been getting your head stomped in. I'm gonna need y'all to get this together. Because them power lines are getting full for them shoes. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, me and J News, you know where we're going. To the back. And we're gonna go on to the next show, which was Triple A, ladies and gentlemen. Triple Mania 33. You saw it with me and my good brother Slim Jim Longfoot here yesterday. And ladies and gentlemen, it was yesterday on YouTube on the WWE and AAA webs channels. We watched it from WWE, the English channel. Now, J News, I know the Copa Badal, but I don't know the middle part.
Cybernetical match.
Cybernetical match. See?
Yeah.
I'm learning something. Surprisingly, this is the only I got shocked by this. Almost defeated Abismo Negro Jr., Aerostar, Cabrin, how you say that again? Cabernato, that was said it wrong. Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wild, La Parca, Laredo Kid, Mecha Wolf, Microman, Octagon Jr., Otis, Pimpinella, and Taurus. Listen, I love Pimpinella. AAA Latin American title, we had El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr. defeat Misas. I think that's how you pronounce that, right, Jaden?
El Macias.
Messias.
Mhm.
Close. In a title change, we had the Judgment Day. Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Raquel Rodriguez defeat Lola Vice, Mr. Iguana, and Nina Hamburguesa. AAA World Tag Team title street fight. We had Pagano and Psycho Clown defeat Los Garzas of Angel and Berto in the title change. We had the AAA World AAA Reina de Reinas title triple threat match with Flammer. Is that pronounce her name right, Jaden? Flammer?
Yep.
Okay, see, listen. I was listening. Defeated Fabi Apache and Natalia. We had a AAA Mega title four-way match. El Hijo del Vikingo retained his title, defeating Dominic Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and El Grande Americano. Okay? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if it wasn't for the English or J News right now, I've been fighting for my life. Okay? J News, I know you saw this. What did you think?
I did not.
What?
I did not see this.
Oh, let me tell you.
This came on. This came on a little later than I expected it to.
Yeah, it came on at 9 yesterday.
Yeah, by the time this came on, I was already in between work and trying to catch up with New Japan stuff, and also trying to catch up with what was going on with AEW. So AAA took a back seat at the end of the day.
Okay, so let me tell you the highlights of the Copa Bordal match. Okay, Pimpinella and Otis seem to have a love affair. She tried to kiss him multiple times. He accidentally knocked her out. He was heartbroken. Microman came out. Microman came out to fanfare. But shortly after of it was Almost. Okay, Almost came out and was just like, he was knocking people into 11 week. And Otis was protecting Microman. Otis stood up for Microman. You know, he stands up for everybody. He stood up for Pimpinella. He's standing up for Microman. Only for Microman, because you know this is over the top and you can pin somebody. Otis to get hurt by Omos, and Microman gets up on the top rope, splashes him, and pins him to eliminate the only person who was there to help him, leaving him to get thrown, pressed up in the air, and thrown out by Omos, which almost kind of, let me go to the side here. This is how I almost threw him out, Jay. It was just like, he laid him down, because if he threw him, he would have probably thrown that man into the third row. So he just lightly leans over the rope and just drops him. That's all he did. Then we had left to the end La Parca, who was the first person out, and Almost. And La Parca tried his best. Also, shout out to La Parca for doing the Michael Jackson thing without the Michael Jackson music necessarily. And he danced his butt all the way into the ring. They gave him a fanfare. He had the people out there dancing with him. It was a whole thing. The El Hijo Dr. Wagner Jr. match. He won because his daddy ended up having to help him. Was it Rondal? Macias, his manager was getting involved, and I don't understand why it took so long for his daddy to jump over the barricade. His daddy had took off his glasses, took his fur coat off. He was dressed like Ric Flair, and had to jump over the barricade. After he had took 20 to 35 minutes to argue with Conan, and Conan even say at a certain point, I should jump over the barricade, hit him with a chair, and come back because he's talking too much. In the middle of the broadcast, mind you, ironically, we have Corey Graves, Conan, and JBL on commentary. It was already crazy. So he won. It was emotional. His dad got in the ring and celebrated, aka took the spotlight. We had the Judgment Day. They won because Mr. Iguana's quote unquote girlfriend got involved and knocked the holy out of Lola Vice. She said it was, well, they claim it was an accident maybe, but it kind of looked like on purpose because at the beginning of the match, Lola Vice seduced Mr. Iguana. She got on the ground and kind of crawled and humped. And they said that could be the cause of why she got knocked out. For the AAA World Street Fight, Pagano and Psycho Clown, they went crazy. But I enjoyed the match. The Arena Darinas match, Natalia was vicious. Bloodsport Natalia showed up. She came out there with the same like entrance with the security, not the wrestlers that we normally see, but they had like Mexican security. She walked out. She just started kicking butt and she was knocking people into the third row. That was a good match. I enjoyed it too. I enjoyed all these matches. The last match, Heel Del Vikingo walked out to boo. They booed the out of him. They booed him. But yet they cheered for everybody else, including a Grande Americano who came out there singing a Mexican song so horribly. I said, if anybody had told me this was going to happen, I would have just cut the mic off. He sang that song horribly, J. News. I feel for anybody who is from Mexican descent that had to listen to him sing that song badly. It made my heart shatter. And people cheered for him. They cheered for Dom, but they booed Del Vikingo when he came out. He came out to a fancy entrance where Rey Mysterio and some other legends kind of hugged him and shook his hand on his way out. And yet when he hit the entrance, they booed him like a mofo. They say it's coming from him winning the title from Homeboy that made the fans not like him. And that they have been booing him. And they showed, somebody on their channel showed clips of ever since he's won, they booed him every time he comes out there. I don't know if people like that man a lot over there, Jay News. You might have a better clue because I only watch major pay-per-views. I wasn't into their week-to-week stuff, but now that they're on YouTube, I can go back and catch up. But I don't know if that man is that important to AAA that the fans feel like he was screwed and getting his title taken away.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be able to tell you current day AAA lore or the storylines or who likes who and what and who's popular and everything else in between. It's like I stated to you before. Like, this isn't the same AAA I grew up with. Like, I started watching AAA when I was a kid in the mid '90s, and for the last, I would say, decade, it's been a shell of its former self. At the end of the day, and now with this WWE partnership or ownership, whatever you want to call it, the production values are sky high, which is great. From the looks of like highlights that I got to see shortly on social media, it looks like everybody seems to be putting in their best efforts in the ring, which I think is cool. It doesn't seem like anybody's half-assing it, unlike even a year ago today. But with the popularity stuff, Delores, I'd be the first one to tell you I don't know what the hell's going on over there with that. Why?
Yeah, they saying it's because he beat Patron that the fans did not like that decision, and that's why they have been booing El Hijo del Vikingo.
Yeah,
Dominic by himself, they booed him. Like, even when I watched the show leading up to it, they had like a couple of matches the day before. They booed Dom, but Dom came out before El Hijo, and they cheered him a little bit, but they booed El Hijo like he wasn't even. He shouldn't have been there.
I'm not going to even venture to assume as to why they booed whatever. I'll just say this from you can see the difference in cultures between what a fandom accepts and what they don't. It just doesn't seem like the Mexican fans care too much about what Alberto El Patron has done in his past.
Yes.
They champion him anyways, but here in the U.S. it's a different story. At least for those fans who tend to know and things of that nature. So you can definitely see the difference in the divide between what certain fan bases will accept of their wrestlers and what certain fan bases won't accept of their wrestlers. So there's that of it. But I understood that I think Rey Mysterio got on the mic at one point.
Yeah.
Um,
He introduced Triple A had Conan be inducted in the Hall of
to the Hall
Fame
of Fame,
there.
right? Mhm.
Yeah. And so no lie, that was the moment where me and my co-host we took a 2 minute break. Cause and even when we came back from the 2 minute break, they were still going on for another 5 minutes. And then Conan started to bless out people in the crowd. So at that moment, I realized, we're going a little far with this. We're going a little far. Now, my favorite part, which I never thought would happen, is that Finn Balor had the puppet demon come out to go against Lieska,
Yeah.
and then he ate Lieska, and then Nino Hamburguesa came out with 2 hamburgers, and then JBL screams, "This man ain't gonna eat this hamburger. He got less than 1% fat on his body." And Finn then starts to bite the hamburger and gets super kicked out of his mind by Mr. Iguana.
Interesting. Yeah, I saw there was uh, a lot of reaction to the Finn Balor puppet. Some positive, some negative. It is what it is at this point. Um, I don't feel any other way about it. Um,
You got to have a little fun in here and there.
I'm of the mindset at this point. If I do feel some way about it, obviously I'll express myself about it. But if it's just I'm just neutral about it. It's neither bad nor good. Um, Ferg's doing what he loves at the end of the day, and he's having fun with it, so it's cool by me. I got to see him in his prime, and I still believe that he's in his prime. But he's doing what he's doing now, and he's having fun. More power to him. I did want to mention the part about that I mentioned about Rey Mysterio getting on the mic. I wanted to mention that part because we were talking about Alberto El Patron. Rey Mysterio implied or said it outright on the microphone that he's working on getting out El Patron back in the WWE. And that to me within itself, um, with everything based on Patron's past and everything else in between, coming from Rey Mysterio, that's troublesome. Um, I
They feel
understood.
like they feel like everybody's redeemable, and Ray has even expressed that as far as his religion, he feels like everybody is redeemable. But certain things, if people keep doing them over and over again, I can't say that. I can't personally say that. I can say I can pray for you and wish you well, but I don't mean I have to like assist you in certain things.
Yeah, I think that's more or less that's more or less a good way to go about it. Like they're he the factor of him being redeemable as a human being, right? It's tough in the eyes of a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Religion aside. So that to me, as I think, is a bit hard to swallow. And I know what it is that they're trying to do. Um, if anybody's gonna do it, it's gonna be WWE, right, Dolores? So
Listen, at a certain point, I have learned. I talked about it last week. I can separate peoples and companies if I literally took a stand against every company that I feel have said and done something wrong. I don't think I can eat, sleep, turn my lights on, bathe with water, and none of that. Because everybody does something, says something. And so it's nothing that I can do. I can only support who I can support by if I wanted to buy something from who I want to buy. You all have been on the channel where I have literally saw the red and yellow man come out and throw my headphone down and get up and walk away. 2 minute intermission. I ain't got time for that because that's not where my time is. That's not where I don't want to hear anything he had to say at the time. So that's how I choose to kind of like boycott certain things that I want to hear and see. I don't have to hear them. I don't have to see them. I can cut my TV off. I can drop my headphone. I don't have to do that. But to say a whole company and then you have people in the company who are good people, Sami Zayn is a good person. I can't
Yeah,
say
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't want to
yeah.
watch him wrestle because of something that 10 other people might have done or one other person has done. If they choose to hire him, I'll be very disappointed. But again, they are still going and they have been talking about going after uh Soraya for a while. You can't have both.
Yeah,
So
that's that too, right? I think a lot of that. Yeah, yeah, man. Like you said, like to use your point, Dolores. Every company has people in it, that do bad shit and whatever have you. Um, but with his past with other talents across the sphere of professional wrestling,
yeah,
he's not worth the headache. He's just not. And that's my personal opinion. I know you've been a part of other streams that I've been a part of on other podcasts and stuff like that, where I've stated my personal opinion about Alberto Del Rio, El Patron,
yeah.
whatever the case is. Don't need him, don't want him anywhere near my company at all. Um,
I wish
uh,
they had a company just for a-holes. Just company
they
for a-holes.
at one point AAA was that company. AAA
Yeah,
was the
because they
one that
because
housed all
they
the.
did have TG
Yeah,
in there for a minute. They
yeah.
had TG in there, but
AAA
yeah,
housed everybody at the end of the day. AAA and parts of Noah in Japan. If for
yeah.
those who know, they know. So it is what it is, But I just thought it was very
I thought the
un-
show overall, being that we weren't the Copa Bardal
yeah.
match, even though we those who watch it know it wasn't listed. I thought they had took some of the tradition out, but they kept it. The all the matches were very good. They focused on characters and kind of told you the backstory through some packages and stuff of how we got to where we're at with certain people. And so I appreciate that. Also, seeing Triple H and Shawn Michaels there looking, mind you, J News, they normally, any country we've been in, we do the country's national anthem, we do the American national anthem. Mexico said, no, we're not doing your national anthem. We're just going to do ours. Okay. And that's the best you're going to get. And so Triple H and them had to stand there as everybody around them is singing, and they're just like, and I'm like, y'all look so uncomfortable. Y'all look like y'all don't. You know how you said one of these things do not belong? It's them too.
Well, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you're in a foreign country. They're not going to play your national anthem for the sake of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you stand there and you take it on the chin, just much like they do when just like most any foreigners do when they come to America and they go to a sporting event or they go to some sort of an event and they have to listen to the American national anthem. It's the same deal at the end of the day. So,
I think even with a lot of people had a problem with Conan and his booking and stuff like that. I too, when I watched Triple A, had some problems, but I have heard him be more open with the behind the scenes stuff that's happening when I get clips coming up my feed of his from his podcast, even when it came to TB and some of the words she had to say about him. And then he broke it down that I only let you hear because of your husband, and then you got smart with talent and disrespectful with people and nasty and slightly racist, and that's the reason why you were not allowed back in the company. Was like, oh, okay, wait a minute, but that ain't what you been saying. You been Mr. Polite. I'm trying to get along, and then you telling the truth. I feel like he felt like he had a certain old age where he don't care, and so bringing in WWE, the Undertaker's supposed to be coming down to AAA to kind of like mentor and get people together. Seeing them change it around was good. They did the entrance, they did their names, they had the English pronounce their names correctly. It was even when names were pronounced slightly incorrectly, Conan would step in and say it. And so I see them trying. I don't want a total change, but I do. I appreciate them not having a cluster. I could focus on, oh, well, this person's getting thrown out. Whereas before, in the corporate doll, I seen 60 people get thrown out at one time, and I'm trying to figure out who did what. Why is this person falling from the sky? Somebody over here is flying. I couldn't figure out where. I could, even Pimpinella got her own little spot. You know what I'm saying? That was
Yeah,
something.
if I'm gonna take something positive out of looking at highlights or like videos coming up in my social media about Triple Mania yesterday, it was that, because I had no idea if the WWE was going to have the use of exoticos on their show. That's flat out. And when I saw the video of Pimpinela Escarlata come out and do their entrance, I was like, that's great, that's fantastic, because exoticos are a part of lucha libre culture at the end of the day. And I think a lot of what a certain part of the fan base is looking for is to retain what the lucha culture is within AAA. And as long as the WWE does that, I don't think they're going to have much trouble retaining the fandom or building it at the end of the day.
Yeah, because we don't see that other than we see Effie's Big Gay Brunch. Do I see Pimpinella like get a lot of, even Effie has shouted her out and kind of like shown drag, LGBTQ, trans competitors a spotlight. But for them to have Pimpinella have her own little spot with Otis, like Otis was infatuated in love with her, was just kind of like, all right, I really would have never thought y'all would have picked this. So I was kind of happy to see that, and also happy to see them explain some of the history behind the characters. Like, yes, this is El Hijo Dr. Wagner Jr., but his father is Dr. Wagner. His father is there. His father had so many, this and this and this, or explaining that Flamma had been holding the championship almost, I think it's 300 and some odd days, almost 400 days, to explain this stuff for people who haven't been watching, don't know, have never seen it, to get to know these characters.
Yeah, man, it's always I think it's always a good idea to catch them up with the lore and the history of the company and things of that nature, and get them and get new fans, involved with what's going on, and people can do their own homework and go back and watch the earlier years of certain stuff. So yeah, for all intents and purposes, I think the show had another good viewing audience and stuff like that. So that's a positive for them. But I'm not too sure.
I don't know if you saw the clip. I don't know if you saw the clip where Ray confronts Dominic, and he begins to speak Spanish. And when he looks at the rest of Judgment Day, he said, "Oh, you can't speak Spanish. You don't speak Spanish. You only speak English. You don't speak Spanish." And then Dominic says, I understand Spanish," and he begins to talk to Dominic, where the Judgment Day looks concerned because they don't know the conversation he's having with him, and they're just, even Roxanne pretends like she don't know. Raquel is standing back there looking around.
That's a little bit strange, because when you see the Judgment Day on Raw, everybody seems to understand what's going on when Spanish is being spoken. So that's a little confusing. If that was the,
because Ray did it to each one. He's like, "Oh, you don't speak. Oh, you speak a little bit. Oh, you don't speak. Oh, just a little bit. Oh." And he turns to Dominic. Dominic tells him, "I speak a little Spanish," in Spanish, and then he starts to talk to Dominic one on one, and Dominic starts to nod his head, and he was just like, "Hey." I don't know what he was telling him because they never did translate it, but he was talking to him, and then at the end, Dominic looks back, and they're looking at Dominic like, "What the hell did he just say?" And Dominic was like, "Yeah," his whole attitude changed. "Yeah, get out of here. I'm the best Mysterio out there." Knocks the coffee cup out of his hand. He's like, "What you gonna do?" And Ray just puts his head down and walks off with a little smile. So it kind of seems like he gave Dominic a little bit of, "Hey, I'm gonna give you a little info, father the son," and Dominic received it. But then when he turned around, he was like, "Oh, y'all are looking. I'm gonna go back to the a-hole of Dominic." And so that was strange because they have not really interacted like that. But also, Dominic almost won the title from Vikingo,
Yeah,
but AJ Styles, he Styles clashed him into nowhere.
yeah. I saw that clip that AJ went in and interfered and cost him the match and stuff. So they're continuing their feud and all that jazz. So that's pretty cool.
Yep. So if y'all want to watch it, it's on YouTube still. Go back and watch it. Me and J News, we're going to the back because we're about to talk about AEW, All Elite Wrestling. We're going to start off with AEW Dynamite, which happened on the 13th on TBS slash HBO Max. John Moxley defeated Kevin Knight. Alex Windsor, Queen Amanada, and Willow Nightingale defeated Mercedes Monet. Triangle of Madness, which was Sky Blue and Thekla. And we had Adam Copeland defeat Stokely by DQ. I'm sorry. That match just had me laugh. Brody King, the conglomeration of Hologram and Tomohiro Ishii and Takahashi defeated the Don Callis family of Josh Alexander, Kyle Fletcher, and the Young Bucks of Matt and Nick Jackson. With a non-title six-man tag team match, it was the Ops, Katsuyori Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Samoa Joe defeat La Faction Ingranable, which was just Jalistico, Roosh, and the Beast Mortos. Did you see any of this, J News, and what did you think?
Yeah, it's another solid episode of Dynamite this past week. I thought that the match that Moxley and Kevin Knight had was a good litmus test for Kevin Knight to see as to how he would look against someone of John Moxley's stature and style in the ring. And the match went well. Obviously, we had shenanigans and hijinks from the likes of the Death Riders and things of that nature. Mike Bailey tried to keep up and keep his and do right by his partner, but uh, more things are coming about. By the end of the match, Darby Allin came out to try to get the save, but they were still outnumbered. And by the time that they were going to do something drastic to Darby, we saw it seems to be a rejuvenated Will Ospreay come out through the crowd and make the save. Will Ospreay came out and made a challenge, or not necessarily a challenge. He made a match basically letting the AEW faithful know that at Forbidden Door there will be a lights out cage match that will feature members of the Death Riders. It's going to be John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli along with the Young Bucks and the Gate Kid for now. Against the team of Darby Allin, Will Ospreay, Hiroshi Tanahashi, the Ace, and I forget who, and Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega. So they're going to have a lights out cage match over at Forbidden Door on the 24th, next Sunday. So that came out of that match. I thought the ladies killed it in their 4-way match. I first saw Alex Windsor winning this match, being that the show is in London and things of that nature, but the match went well. No, wait, I'm sorry. This was a 6-way, right? Yeah, my bad. But it was still a good multi-person match. Out of everything, Mercedes has definitely not let herself go, but she's being more free when it comes to getting involved with a lot of the other female talent on the show. During the Triangle of Madness entrance, usually the ladies of Triangle of Madness come to the middle of the ring and they join hands as if they were like in a seance. And in this particular instance, Mercedes joined the group, and she was
Why I died laughing at that? I was like, one of these things do not belong with the other.
She was definitely out of character there. That she went on to Twitter like a couple of minutes after the match was over, and she was like, she thought it was a prayer circle and whatnot. So Mercedes just having fun with it. So I
and Frank been out here making these TikToks and stuff. I've been out here laughing at her. So to get it, when she got in the middle of the circle, I was like, sister, you know what you're doing. Do you know what you're doing?
She having fun, man. I can appreciate that, man. She seems to definitely have a light about her nowadays, which is dope to see. The Adam Copeland versus Stokely thing, I wasn't necessarily too interested in this. I was wondering what was going to happen after the match to see if they were going to continue this road down where we get Adam Copeland teaming again with Christian. we essentially got that, but not really per se, because there's still some friction there between Copeland and Christian. But they do have a match now where it's going to be Copeland and Christian going up against the former patriarchy of Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. So they'll be taking on those guys at Forbidden Door. That match came out of the DQ here, because not only did FTR get themselves involved by the end of the match, but so did Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. And then Christian came in for the save eventually. So that's how they ended up with Christian and Cope teaming. They hugged in the ring, but it was one of those hugs where it was just a one-way hug and whatnot. Christian's still not fully sold on what's going on here. Brody and the Conglomeration, this was just your typical PWG style match. New Japan sent Hiromu Takahashi out to be the person who's going to end up facing Kyle Fletcher at Forbidden Door one-on-one for the TNT Championship. That should be a banger of a match. But this match went all over the place like it usually would, and it was hella entertaining. So props to those guys. And then the 6-way match at the end of the show with La Faction. Like, I feel like there's times with LFI where it feels like Tony's about to push them, but then he pulls the curtain back a bit on them. He's about to push them, and then he pulls the curtain back on them again. And I'm not too sure. They're featured, but then they're not. So it's very on and off with LFI. There's just I'm not too sure as to what's going on there with AEW. So I think that's one of those things that they have to be more consistent about. The ops are still the ops. There seems to be a couple of more teams that are going to be involved in the 6-man trios kind of division in the coming weeks and months. So folks should be looking out for that. And then before the match, I believe there was a edited video that played for Hook making his comeback. Seems like Hook's going to have new theme music and things of that nature. And I know Hook still has his beef with the ops, him being ousted after his injury of not having that championship. So we'll see as to how all that develops. But just like I said, another solid show. It wasn't necessarily great, but there was nothing bad on the show. But another solid episode of Dynamite for AEW.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the way back, going to the future of ROH. Ladies and gentlemen, ROH was ROH 129 on the 14th. Jay News gonna have to help me with the first name because I've messed that man name up 59.
Yeah, Defunto.
See, listen, I messed it up. Defunto, Hechicero, and the Beast Mortos, along with Valdera Jr., defeated Alex Zane, AR Fox, Spanish Announce Project of Angelico and Serpentico. Willie Mack defeated Gringo Loco. Lance Archer defeated Ren Jones in 43 seconds. That was very unnecessary, Jay News. But you know what? They did. Leela Gray defeated Tao Valkyrie. We had Tomohiro Ishii defeated Oro. Did I pronounce that right? Oro?
The main man, Oro Mensa. You know Oro.
I be trying not to say Mensa, but I be saying Oro, and then I'm like, no. I be trying not to say his last name Mensa, but you know, when they change names like that messes me up because I'm used to saying Oro Mensa, not just Oro. That's just crazy. RH Pure Title Proving Ground match. It ended in a time limit draw with Lee Moriarty versus
Gelua.
We talked about this before, and every time I try to practice that Gelua, I'm like, that don't look right, that don't sound right. But you know what? Call yourself whatever you want to, baby. Jay News, did you see any of this?
This was the episode that ended up on YouTube this week. So I watched this bits and parts here and there. Willie Mack's defeat of Gringo Loco is
now keep it on YouTube.
Yeah, they do, but you know, it's up to Tony. He thought that this was he figured this to be a special episode. So Willie Mack defeating Gringo Loco led to Willie Mack having a backstage promo in which he eventually challenged Nick Wayne for the ROH CV Championship. So that'll be going on next week. Layla Gray seems to be looking better in the ring. Her match here with Taya Valkyrie went off well for the time that they had. Big Tom doing Big Tom things versus Oro. Oro looked good. Oro's always been a good in-ring wrestler, so I was glad to see him on ROH and get a spotlight there. Lee Moriarty against Jelwa was interesting to see, because I don't equate Jelwa to be a highly technical guy, but he was showing off those skills, and the match went the way that it went. And then the multi-man match at the beginning of the show was like I said, it's one of those PWG super tag team matches and stuff like that. Always good to see Zusos, Alex Zane in the match, AR Fox, they always doing crazy stuff. And Helco and Serpentico getting more shine and whatnot. And obviously the CMLL guys, along with the Beast Mortos and stuff like that. Defunto, he's definitely made me more of a fan over the last several months as I've been watching CMLL on a more regular basis. Hechicero's still the man. The Beast Mortos, obviously, we all know what the Beast can do. And Volador Jr.
Yeah,
the vet in the scene.
Yeah, I enjoyed this show overall. I really did enjoy it. It was better than some of the other ones in the past few weeks where I'm like, I enjoyed this one. Also, Tony, you cut down the matches for me. I appreciate that. But please put it on YouTube. Help me help you. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going way back in the playback. We're on to yesterday's show, which was AEW Collision. And it was, I said, go. You going past where I need you to be at. Where are you going? Where are you going? Let's see. Is it just me or the slide's not changing?
It hasn't changed on the screen as of yet.
Why is it not changing? Hold on. Let's get back to me and J News, because it is not changing, ladies and gentlemen. And then look, let me take the file out, put the file back in, but AEW Collision, we had the Death Riders defeat Jet Speed. We had Paragon, and we had the 4-way match. Chris Statlander defeated Anna Jay and Penelope Ford. J News, did you see any of that, and what did you think?
Yep, I saw Collision last night.
J News there.
Yep, I'm here. So I saw Collision last night.
It kind of froze. I was like, is J News there?
Yeah. I saw Collision last night. It was another solid show for Collision. To begin the night, it was another great tag team match for the team of Jet Speed versus the Death Riders of John Moxley and Wheeler Yuta. Jet Speed looking more and more like a well-oiled machine as a team. So hopefully they continue their tag team efforts in AEW. We then had the Paragon tag team match. Great to see Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong have a match versus Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. It seems like Blake and Lee are getting a bit of a spotlight in recent weeks when it comes to AEW television. Not just ROH, but they had their spotlight interview with Renee last week air via AEW social channels and things of that nature. They've been on both Dynamite and Collision. They've been having good performances on the show. So shouts to Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. Strong win for Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. They're still continuing that storyline right now with Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, where they're still a great tag team. But Kyle O'Reilly still has that fun-loving side of him that wants to do stuff with his bandmates from the conglomeration. But Roderick Strong right now is not trusting of the people from the conglomeration. But Roddy, during the backstage promo right before the match, did state that he was going after Kyle Fletcher, that is, for doing what he did to Adam Cole So we'll probably be seeing a future TNT Championship match between Roderick Strong and Kyle Fletcher. And give me that yesterday. I'm all for that. Ricochet defeated the one and only Ace Austin. Ace Austin of TNA fame, former TNA tag team champion, former member of the Bullet Club, but once Bullet Club member, always a Bullet Club member. Ace Austin did his thing. He showed out in his match in defeat versus Ricochet. Ace Austin, during the show, it was announced that Ace Austin is All Elite. So Ace Austin is now the newest member of the AEW roster. So congratulations to him. The ladies four-way match. I thought that the ladies four-way match went well. Chris Statlander, obviously, the strongest of the four ladies. She's the most veteran of the ladies, but on top of everything else, she's the one who's also had the most TV time. But on top, also in addendum two, I would like to say that watching this match, how much better Julia Hart has gotten with her in-ring ability. So I want to shout out Julia Hart for that. Anna Jay still looking like Anna Jay's been looking. Penelope Ford's always been athletically gifted. She's just it just seems like sometimes she's still trying to put it together, and other times she looks real good. This time around, I would say it was really more or less neutral and things of that nature. But then after the match, it all broke down between all of the relative tag team partners for Anna Jay, being Ty Mello, Julia Hart, be it any of the two ladies, be it Sky Blue or Tekla from the Triangle of Madness, and from Penelope Ford. Obviously, it's the Megasis Megan Bayne. But by the end of the match, we did have the return of Harley Cameron. Yes, Harley Cameron. Feel the wrath. She came back to clear house and things of that nature. And her and Chris Statlander had a great and funny backstage promo that also involved the Death Riders members of Wheeler Yuta and John Moxley. It seemed like they're still scouting Chris Statlander to be a part of that Death Riders team, even though Chris Statlander is still having her uneven, very unbalanced relationship with Willow Nightingale. I don't know how this is all going to end up, but I like it for Chris Statlander because it gives her options, and it you don't necessarily know where it's going to go, so it's interesting in that sense. Juice Robinson, the Juice Man, defeated Brian Keith in a solid match. They're still leading up to Juice Robinson going one-on-one with Big Bill. So we're doing that. We're going to eventually get there at some point. And for the four-way match, the technical spectacle, at first I thought to myself, man, are fans going to be responsive to this match at all? And by the time they got 5 minutes in, that crowd was so into this match, and the stuff and the submissions and the holds that they were all putting themselves in. This match was heavily entertaining. It was obviously highly technical, but beyond a shadow of a doubt, I think most fans knew that Nigel McGuinness was going to win this match, and he did. So Nigel McGuinness is going to end up going to Forbidden Door, having that matchup with Zack Sabre Jr., who's currently the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Nigel McGuinness is going to be seconded by Daniel Garcia at Forbidden Door. Daniel Garcia is going to be in Nigel's corner. Nigel asked Daniel that favor after he won the match. And yeah, we're going to get that, and we're probably going to get some sort of a super multi-man match that'll involve the Don Callis family and the members of STP somewhere on Forbidden Door. So we'll see how that all ends up. But another solid episode of Collision for AEW this week as well, which happened yesterday on Saturday.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go way back in the playback. We're going to go on to the next slide, which was TNA Wrestling. Yay. TNA 1099 was on the 14th on Access TV. We had First Class, AJ Francis. Good God, that man. Jay News, do you know this man has been talking all this week about everything that he should not be talking about? And I wish he would shut up. That he said that TNA is hotter than ever before.
I mean, he's not wrong
because of him. Because of him?
No, not because of him, but they are. But the company is hotter than it's ever been.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He said TNA. Yeah, he said TNA is hotter than ever, and he put butts in seats because of him. I said, "You son of a." AJ Francis and Rich Swann, along with Trick Williams, defeated the system of Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, and JDC. Danny Luna and Indy Hartwell defeated Harley Hudson and Mila Grace. Matt Cardona defeated John Schuyler. Mike Santana defeated Eric Young. Cedric Alexander and the Rascals, Myron Reed and Zachary Wentz, defeated Leon Slater and the Hardys of Matt and Jeff Hardy. Did you see any of this, J News? And tell me what you think if you did.
I did not see any of this. The only thing that surprised me is I thought that Cedric Alexander was
Okay.
going to be one and done with what he had going on with TNA. So, but he's not. So I was wrong about that. My apologies, folks. So Cedric Alexander is sticking around for a while at TNA. But outside of that, I did not watch anything else that happened on the show. I think there was a clip that I ran into. Mike Santana walked away from somebody during this episode of TNA. So I'm not too sure as to what they're gonna continue to do with Mike going forward. And yeah, everything else I don't necessarily have anything to say
on. For this to be the go home show for a pay per view, I would say, and take that away. But I enjoy seeing Mike Santana and Matt Cardona. The Cedric Alexander Rascals match, I would say it was okay. I'm not gonna say you can run back and go see it. I'm not gonna say any of this is run back and go see it, but it was okay. It wasn't like I have had moments where I watched TNA recently and be like, I should cut this out of our review because I don't want to see this no more. But this right here is okay. And plus I didn't have to see TB, so I was fine. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of the pay-per-view, we're gonna go back and we're gonna go forward to Emergence. Emergence was on the 15th, ladies and gentlemen. For the countdown to Emergence, we had Indy Hartwell defeat Rosemary. We had our man, the hometown man again, defeat Ryan Nemeth. Mm-hmm. On the main event of the Emergency show, we had TNA X Division title match. Leon Slater defended and won and kept his title against Cedric Alexander. We had Matt Cardona defeat Mustafa Ali. We had First Class, AJ Francis and Rich Swann defeat the system of Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards. We had the Baltimore Street Fight where Mike Santana retired Sami Callihan. We had the Knockouts World Title four-way match, World Tag Team Title four-way match. The Elegance brand, Heather by Elegance and M by Elegance, defeated Fatal Influence of Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix, The Inspiration of Cassie Lee and Jesse McKay, and Lee Ying Lee and Zaya Brookside. The TNA International title, no count out, no disqualification match. Steve Macklin defeated Jake Something. The TNA World Tag Team title match, the Hardys defeated the Rascals of Myron Reed and Zachary Wentz. And for the TNA World title match, we had Trick Williams defeat Moose. Did you see any of this, J News, and what did you think?
The bits and pieces that I saw, I remember this is why I said that there was a video clip that came up on my socials about Mike Santana walking away from somebody. I didn't recall what it was, but now I'm recalling what it was. It was for this Emergence pay-per-view. It was a Baltimore street fight between Mike Santana and Sami Callihan. This wasn't a retirement match. Mike beat Sami, but Sami at the end of the match untied his boots and left his boots in the ring. Basically, Sami Callihan decided that his
Sami had mentioned coming up to it if he couldn't beat him, he would, well, that if I can't beat you, I will quit. That whole kind of thing.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, Sami is no longer going to be wrestling in the ring. I'm going to express myself in this way because I think it's the right thing to say. I'm hoping that now that Sami's going to stop his in-ring career, that he takes better care of himself and his health going forward. He at times he didn't look good physically. Um, at other times, from a cardio standpoint, it didn't seem like he was ready
He's still
for
not.
some matches.
He's still
So I hope that he decides now that his in-ring wrestling career is over to take better care of himself and his health and his life overall. Because he just don't he doesn't seem right half the time. You know what I'm
it.
saying? So I just want him to
It
concentrate on
seemed
that.
as though he has had, and I think there has been conversations about that he has had personal struggles. I'm gonna put it that way. Personal struggles or vices or things that have
Okay.
interrupted his career, and then when he changed it around, it went the total opposite. And so, well, one thing might be something that you use to cope with. You might use another thing, which doesn't seem harmless, but can be very harmful in the end.
Yeah.
Because as we saw, we've seen his weight fluctuate.
Yeah.
And
You know,
so
weight's one
he went
thing.
from looking scary, sometimes a little bit thin, to the way he is now. And so he's talked about in the past dealing with things, coping with things, especially things that have happened in his life or things he's been through. So I don't know. I can't say that's the way he copes with it, but it's just on the outside looking in, it seems like that's something he struggles with.
Yeah. Just hopefully he's able to take control of himself, his actions, and his overall health and things that start to improve for him. I wanted to mention one other thing because Matt Cardona came up on both of these TNA cards, and I'm not sure if it's on the rest of the reviews that we have, but he Matt Cardona and Shotzi Blackheart had a lot of fun with one another during the week. So I wanted to point that out in case that wasn't on the rest of the reviews and stuff like that. Um, Matt Cardona keeps doing some really funny stuff. He keeps doing good stuff as well. So hopefully, he's the king of the indies at the end of the day. So Matt Cardona is still doing good stuff. And for the life of me, man, I just can't get behind Indy Hartwell. And I know she's a very nice girl. She seems cool from her vlogs and her videos and her YouTube. But her as a wrestler, I just can't get behind it, man, anymore. So I wanted to put that out there. Shouts to Rosemary for still being able to go all these years, all these decades later in the industry. So I got to give her that. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go way back in the playback and we're going to go on to my favorite company. And you already know what it is. What is it? GCW. GCW. Ladies and gentlemen, GCW had two shows, and we're going to start off with JCW, which is Juggalo Championship Wrestling, and their 2-day war night one event. They also called it Bloody Mania. Okay. And it was a lot of blood, you. Night one, we had on the 15th, which was on Trilla TV, Atticus Cougar defeat Nick Nemeth. JCW Women's Title 4-Way match, Alex Crawley defeated Brooke Havoc, Haley J, and Priscilla Kelly. JCW American Title match, Caleb Conley defeated the Great Sasuke. The Outbreak of Abel Booker and Jackson Crawley defeated Nate Webb and PCO. For the GCW World Title match, we had Effie defeat Willie Mack. Go back and look at that. 20-man battle royal. Joey Janela won by defeating Alex Price, Bam Sullivan, Christian Napier, Cocaine. Every time I say it makes me laugh. Drew Parker, George South, Jeffrey John, Jordan Oliver, JP Grayson, Congo Kong, Luigi Primo, Mosh Pit Mike, Mr. Happy, Otis Cougar, Shane Mercier, Sunny Kiss, which I was happy to see, Super Human, Tarzan Duran, and The Wrath. Listen, they coming up with some crazy names at JCW. JCW Heavyweight Title Barbed Wire Death Match. There was a title change where Too Tough Tony defeated Matt Tremont for the title. Ladies and gentlemen, News, did you see any of this?
No, Dolores, I didn't see any of this.
Okay. Day 2. Oh no, that was day 2. I just told you about day
Yeah,
2.
you just went over
We're gonna
day
go
two.
back to day 1. Day 1, we had shock and awe death match. Drew Parker, Drake Younger. Drew Parker defeated Drake Younger. We had a 6-man tag team war match where VNDL48, crazy name, Atticus Cougar, Christian Napier, and Otis Cougar defeated Flo Kane, Cocaine, and Stephen Flo. I'm sorry, but what makes you name yourself? It kind of fits the character, but I'm just saying. Then we had a questionable alliance match because these people don't trust each other. Shane Mercier defeated Bam Sullivan. We had a death match. Mosh Pit Mike defeated Tarzan Duran. GCW Legends 2 Scorpio. I liked it in this match. Masha Slamovich and the Greats of Alex Crowley, JP Grayson, and Matt Cross. With a street war grudge match where Too Tough Tony defeated Joey Janela for the GCW Tag Team title versus the JCW Tag Team title. YDMP won them all by defeating Ruffo the Clown and Yabo the Clown to win their title. So now they are the GCW JCW Tag Team Champions. Okay. So we already went over there too. Now it's time for the great stylings of my good brother J News.
Yeah, we're gonna break down the G1 Climax 35 tournament that was still going on at the beginning of this week. Today is the 17th of August, Sunday afternoon. The G1 is over, but we will go over the final next week. This is the show that went down on the 10th. War Dogs, Drilla Maloney and Taiji Ishimori defeated Daiki Nagai and Shingo Takagi. Team DK members Harley Jackson and Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Sho Makato and Yoshihashi. United Empire members Great Okan and Jacob Austin Young defeated Katsura Murashima and Shota Umino. House of Torch members Ren Narita, Yoshinobu Kanemaru defeated Don Kai's family members Konosuke Takeshita and Rocky Romero. On to A block action. Oleg Bolton defeated Tai Chi, kicking Tai Chi out of the A block there, and Bolton Oleg was out of the A block as well. Sanada defeated Ryohei Oiwa. They didn't go off to the playoffs. Yota Tsuji defeated Callum Newman, which played Yota Tsuji into the playoffs. Evil defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi. That put Evil in the playoffs, and then David Finlay defeated Yuya Uemura. Being that David Finlay owned the tiebreaker there, David Finlay went into the playoffs for the A block. After this particular night, we then went on to the 13th. We had Hiroshi Tanahashi and Katsura Murashima defeat Masaru Yasuda and Tai Chi. TMDK's Harley Jackson and Ryohei Oiwa defeated United Empire's Callum Newman and Jacob Austin Young. Oleg Bolton and Toru Yano defeated House of Judge members Sanada and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Daiki Nagai and Yuto Tsuji defeated Sho Makato and Yuya Uemura. House of Torch members Dick Togo and Evil, along with Don Valet, defeated Bullet Club War Dog members David Finlay and Gato. Block B action. El Phantasmo got his forfeit win over Gabe Kidd. Gabe Kidd did not participate in the G1 due to a knee injury. Shingo Takagi, with his 10 points, defeated Drilla Maloney, but Shingo and Drilla both found themselves out of the playoffs. Zack Sabre Jr. leading the pack across both blocks with his 14 points, defeated Yoshihashi. Shota Umino bought himself into the playoff, defeating the Great Okan. And then Konosuke Takeshita also bought himself into the playoff by defeating Ren Narita of the House of Torture via referee's decision because he made Ren Narita, I think he got knocked out cold due to his crossface chicken wing submission. We then have the show that popped off on the 14th. This was the amalgamation of the playoffs. We had the return of Satoshi Kojima, teaming up with Tai Chi, former members of Kojima-gun, going up against Shomakato and Yoshihashi. Tai Chi and Kojima defeated Shomakato and Yoshihashi. House of Torch members Ren Narita, Sanada, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Yujiro Takahashi defeated El Phantasmo, Jado, Oleg Bolton, and Toru Yano. United Empire members Callum Newman, Great Okan, Jacob Austin Young defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi, Katsura Murashima, and Yuya Uemura. Bullet Club War Dog members Joe Maloney and Taiji Ishimori defeated Daiki Nagai and Shingo Takagi. And the House of Torture members Don Fatley, Doki, and Evil, along with Dick Togo, defeated TMDK members Hartley Jackson, Ryohei Oiwa, and Zack Sabre Jr. Now, the playoff matches were as follows. Konosuke Takeshita defeated David Finlay in their playoff match. Yota Tsuji defeated Shota Umino in his playoff match. So then we saw the semifinals rounding out to be Konosuke Takeshita going one-on-one against Zack Sabre Jr., and then Yota Tsuji was going to go one-on-one against Evil for the semifinals. On to the semifinals, which happened on the 16th, which was yesterday. Tag matches galore. Tatsuya Matsumoto, the newer young lion, along with Tiger Mask and Togi Makabe, went up against Masatori Yasuda, Shomakato, and Zayn J. El Desperado, Ryusuke Taguchi, and Shota Umino, along with Yoshihashi and Yuya Uemura, defeated Master Wato, Shitoshi Kojima, Taichi Toriyano, and Yo. House of Torch members Don Fale and Yujiro Takahashi defeated Ole Bolton and Tomoaki Hanma. United Empire members Cal Newman, Great O'Connor, Jacob Boston Young defeated El Phantasmo, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Katsuyori Murashima. Daiki Nagai and Shingo Takagi of the unaffiliated defeated the Bullet Club War Dog members of David Finlay and Gato. House of Torture members Sanada and Yoshinobu Kanemaru defeated Bullet Club War Dog members Drilla Maloney and Taiji Ishimori. Then we had the House of Tortures, Doki, Ren Narita, and Sho defeat TMDK members Harley Jackson, Kosei Fujita, and Ryohei Oiwa. We then had the semifinal matches. Evil by this was a surprise, man. A lot of people, I don't understand what happened here. Evil defeated Yota Tsuji via referee's decision. At some point during the match, it is believed that Yota Tsuji was initially concussed, not by Don Fale's bad luck fall, but by another maneuver that happened between him and Evil. But the bad luck fall or / Razor's Edge fall that Yota Tsuji took but from Don Fale did not help. And it seems that Yota Tsuji was concussed against Evil, and that might have changed plans during the match. But if it was originally slated for Evil to win regardless, I don't know what the hell Gato's doing here. But it is what it is. And then Konosuke Takeshita went on to defeat Zack Sabre Jr. in a very good match to go on to the final. So the final ended up being Evil versus Takeshita. That happened this morning, and we will review that next week. On to the previews, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, time for the previews, and you get to still hear the stylings of J News.
Yeah, so we have the G1 Climax 35 Finals Day. We had the matches sorted out. We had Shomakato and Tatsuya Matsumoto against Masatori Yasuda and Zayn J. Satoshi Kojima and Taichi tagged against Katsuyori Murashima and Togi Makabe. El Desperado, Taguchi, and Yoshihashi. They tagged against Master Wato, Toriyano, and Yo. El Phantasmo, Ole Bolton, and Tiger Mask. They tagged against House of Torture members Don Fale, Sanada, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Hiroshi Tanahashi, Shota Umino, and Yuya Uemura. They tagged against United Empire members Cal Newman, Great O'Connor, and Jacob Boston Young. Daiki Nagai, Hiromu Takahashi, Shingo Takagi, and Yota Tsuji of the unaffiliated. They went up against Bullet Club War Dog members David Finlay, Drilla Maloney, Gato, and Taiji Ishimori. House of Torture members Doki, Ren Narita, Sho, and Yujiro Takahashi went up against Team DK members Hartley Jackson, Kosei Fujita, Ryohei Oiwa, and Zack Sabre Jr. And then the final is Evil versus Konosuke Takeshita.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you already know what time it is. It's time for my favorite time of the week. GCW, ladies and gentlemen, Game Changer Wrestling, because I like that hardcore wrestling. Homecoming Part 1, and we're on the 23rd, ladies and gentlemen. They gave us a break this week. They said we're going to let y'all off a little bit, so we did. Ladies and gentlemen, it's VNDL48, which is Atticus Cougar, Christian Napier, Otis Cougar versus a questionable opponent, Joey Janela and Matt Tremont. We have the death match, Ultra Madness Black versus Dr. Redact. We have a Garage Beer World title match, Matt Cardona versus Shotzi Blair. We're in for the GCW World title match. We have Effie versus KJ Orso, aka we already know who that man is. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end because we only had 2 things to preview. But no, we got the spotlight of the week, and it comes to you from our good brother J News.
Yeah, I wanted the spotlight of the week. I always keep it within what's going on during the week or whatever's prevalent in the wrestling world during the week. So this week's spotlight is the one and only Ace Austin. Ace Austin, former member of the TNA roster, now member of the AEW roster. He is now officially all elite. Ace Austin is a terrific in-ring competitor. Very how do I say this? Yeah, I'll say it this way. Ace Austin seems to be very popular with the ladies.
Yes.
So Ace
Yes.
Austin,
Let me clear my throat. Yes. Yes.
so Ace Austin, definitely a quite the addition to the AEW roster, man. I would say I got put on to Ace Austin when he did his excursion with his partner Chris Bay at in New Japan a couple of years ago. They excursioned out there, one for junior tag league and then also for the super juniors, and then they were also very heavily involved in what was going on with the Bullet Club at the time and stuff like that. And I had never necessarily seen Ace Austin perform before that. I got put onto him pretty late in the game, but I've definitely become a big fan of his and his in-ring stylings. He's a pretty good promo on the mic as well, very charismatic, very well spoken at that, and it seems to be one of the more liked dudes in the locker room and stuff like that. So I think that he'll be a terrific addition to AEW. So I want everybody to do their due diligence, go do some homework, look up his matches on YouTube if you've never seen any of his stuff, and look forward to seeing him on AEW TV. I know a lot of people in the AEW space want him to join a specific faction, but as of right now, I think that Ace being solo will work. I'm not against him being part of this specific faction, but I'm going to hold on to that until it happens, or if it happens, because I think, and I have a real belief that within the next year or two, that his best friend Chris Bay, it's not if, it's when Chris Bay returns to the wrestling ring. I feel like he'll come back, and if AEW has any mind on him, they'll definitely sign Chris Bay as well in the coming years once he's fully healthy. So, and I want to see ABC run rampant in that AEW tag division. So, but folks, always not always, but make sure you look out and you pay attention to Ace Austin, and he has been my spotlight this week.
I don't know if you've seen Ace Austin and Chris and not MJF together.
No, I haven't.
They two are, it's like gold. And I wish that when I first saw that he was on with AEW, then I was like, put them two together. Because I remember it must have been a promo. It was him, I think it was Richard Holiday and MJF together. And I was like, listen, I want more of this. And so I wish they would at least put them two together, and they could riff off some history stuff. But I enjoyed your spotlight of the week. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end. We're gonna go off to the studio unless I'm gonna bring J News over to the studio. And I'm gonna tell you what ChatGPT told me to tell you about J News. Yo, J News a real one, solid as they come. He ain't just talking. He know his wrestling, calling matches like he's sitting ringside with a mic and a mission. When it comes to sports commentary, he breaking it down slick and smart. And don't even trip. His movie reviews, fire. He peep all the little details and keep it straight 100. Good man, good mind, good vibe. Ain't no cap, J News that dude.
As always, shouts to ChatGPT for the shout out there. As always, folks, appreciate y'all watching and participating in the chat. Check us out here every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hit the Roast Podcast, me and the lovely Delores. My QR code here brings you to all my socials and the special links that I have to provide for you at John LYFNMG on Twitter and Instagram, and as well as Threads. You can also catch me doing my written reviews. Folks, I write out full-on reviews of the movies that I want to review. I don't review every single movie that I watch, but those that I do reviews on, I do full-on write-ups on. and things of that nature. No one-liners and all that jazz. So if you have the time, scan the QR code, go to my Letterboxd account, and just read those reviews, if you will. Much appreciated. I think that for everything that it's worth, over the last 2 months or so, I've gotten more likes on my Letterboxd reviews than I would have ever thought possible, because it is a known it's a part of Letterboxd lore, if you're part of the community, that when you even get one like, you know what I'm saying, it's a big deal, because Letterboxd is really more for your individual it's for your individual likes of films and things of that nature, and being and holding yourself accountable and keeping tabs of all the movies you've watched and stuff like that. It's not really for critique and reviews and all that jazz. But I've been very grateful for all of those people who follow me on Letterboxd, and for those who don't, who just click on the like button. I appreciate y'all for doing that as well. So thank you on that. Also, check me out on the True Heel Heat podcast. I will be on there tomorrow doing the G1 Climax 35 review with the one and only SP3 and the lovely Sanal. So that's tomorrow, Monday. And then I'll be back on True Heel Heat on Friday doing the preview for AEW's New Japan Forbidden Door. And then I won't be here on the Hit the Ropes podcast next week due to previous engagement and things of that nature, but I'll be back the following week. I think the following week we'll be back at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time due to the fact that the Clash in Paris event is happening. So we'll be on later that night, so folks can catch Clash in Paris in the early afternoon and stuff like that. So yeah, folks, appreciate y'all as always.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. If y'all, like I told about my boy Slim last night, I hate to have the 2-piece if you don't go check out J News. Okay, you better go check out J News. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm on. There we go. So now it's on to me. I'm gonna put my little lady up here. Take J News down for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, I always do a rap lyric. And my rap lyric comes from Pastor Mike Jones, Showing Out is the song. And it says, God don't play about me. He don't play. Yeah, I asked him for a little, but he gave me a lot. Didn't just pay the bill. Y'all, he paid it off. I thought I blew my chance. Then he spent the block. He opened every door that the devil locked. And I feel like that applies to me this week, because I have had so much open up for me, and so many new things and so many new opportunities. And I am so grateful to all of those who support me. And I tell y'all all the time, my God don't play about me. I'm going to say it again for y'all. My God play about me. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Delores. I'm just a pink girl in my pink world, here on every social platform, here to help you with tech and sports to upgrade your world. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get in contact with me, this is the best way. I'm Delores Designs, and this is my QR code. Let me take my little banner down for you. And no, that's not my direct phone number, so don't worry about it for those who are concerned about it. But email me. You can text or call that number to get up, so we can set up, maybe help you figure out what you need to do on your channel. You said, Delores, that QR code is a little small. I got a bigger one for you. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, as you already know, I am here at 1 p.m. Eastern every Sunday for the Hit the Ropes podcast with your girl Delores and the good brother J News, review and preview and everything professional wrestling, from WWE to New Japan to AAA. You got us here, so please make sure you're here. Ladies and gentlemen, next Sunday, I will be doing NXT Heatwave live here on the channel. Everything is already set up, so make sure you hit the notification so you can know when NXT Heatwave is coming on your channel. We'll be playing games from bingo to we'll play some new games and everything. So come on in and have a little fun with me. Ladies and gentlemen, on the 31st, I will be having Clash in Paris, just like J News said. It comes on around 2 o'clock, so that means we had to push back to 9 o'clock for the show. Okay, I'm going to tell you all about some wonderful people. Wonderful people. First of all, I want to tell you about the good brother Slim. He came here yesterday. This is his QR code to go to his personal channel and his personal things he has for his channel. Please, please, I'm a part of his membership. Please make sure you go over there, check him out. He's a good person. Also, as we talked about, Slim is a comic book creator, and he's made all these comic books with the UGI Studios. Him and Johnny Quest Gaming, love them. They also host a show called the Nerd Strip Club. Listen, funny, fun. Check him out. Ladies and gentlemen, I manage these wonderful people over at the Workhorse Wrestling Network. And sometimes you can catch me over there filling in or having fun with them. And that is Workhorse Wrestling Network. Go gallop over there. Just gallop over there. Go check them out. Ladies and gentlemen, go check out theeducatednatural.com. You can go in there and register for the women's closet. This is what we'll be talking about. 5 p.m. where women get together and we talk about work and hash through things. Because as women, sometimes we hold a lot. And this is an opportunity for you to go and get a lot off your chest. Ladies and gentlemen, also you can go to theeducatednatural.com to join her membership. Her membership is now over on her website. Also, go to theeducatednatural.com if you need a website, if you need business help. She is there for you. And trust me, she has helped me a lot. I love this lady, Miss Joy. Miss Joy comes on every Monday and Thursday. Monday is crafting. She'll be working on the blocks, which we'll talk about in a minute, for the boys club, for homeless young men who have no place to go. This, you contributing towards this auction will allow somebody to know that they are loved and cared for, even though they don't have a home. Okay? So, and Thursday she does prayer. So if you need a prayer, no matter it's for family, friends, we've had people come in there and pray for people who are having surgery, major, serious surgery, and come back and report to us that they got out of the hospital early. Surgery went fine. They were doing better than expected. Please come over there and pray with us. Both days she come on at 9:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:05 Pacific. This is how you can do the blocks. If you're bringing in a quilt, this is specifically for you. We are auctioning off other things. So if you, let's just say you have a service you have or another talent you have that you can auction off, we are doing that too, because this is more than that. And she's doing this for social media. This is for YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. Everybody can contribute. So if you have something, listen, the blocks have to be 10 and a half by 10 and a half, no padding needed. You can put designs on it, embroidery, applique, crochet, rhinestone, sublimation, DTF. You can do whatever. You can add your signature to it, whatever you want to. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you gotta, Miss Joy is gonna auction off some stuff. Listen, if y'all ain't seen Miss Joy cut, when I get mine, I'm gonna flash it. She makes cups. She makes she makes everything. So make sure you go check it out. Also, ladies and gentlemen, Auntie Ellen, as you see, that's my little pink pillow over in the corner right there. I got me what? She makes everything. And you can catch her on Thursdays and Saturdays. Thursdays at 4 p.m., Saturdays at 6 p.m., where she cooks and crochets and things. She's even turned in blocks for the quilt. So let me tell you something. This quilt gonna be fire. Y'all gonna have to, I might have to outbid Miss Joy. Me and Miss Joy already talking about it. She said, I'm gonna get out there. No, I'm gonna get it. Okay. So y'all gonna have to go over there and check this out and go check her out. Look at that good food. Look at all that good crafts. Listen, you gotta join her. Ladies and gentlemen, Thursdays. I told y'all I'm busy on Thursdays. Because you already know I've been with Miss Joy. I see Auntie Ellen. But guess what? My favorite gardener in the world, Miss Shirley O.G. Gardner, is live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She goes over questions, helps you out. Her chat is fun. If you have never been over there, go over there and check it out, because if you need a seed, if you need some advice, if you need something, you want to find out something, that's the place to be to find it out. Okay? So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me bring J News back up to the stage. We had a good time with you today. J News, ever since you left me, when I cut the light out sometime, the light come back on. I'll be like, you know what? I ain't gonna fight with you today. But hopefully the light come out today. Because baby girl, baby boy, me and J News done set this thing ablaze. I mean, it's on fire. I'm hot. I'm burning. J News, but you know what I don't want to see? I don't see all that. It scares me. Okay? And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do something that'll make you feel better. And that's if I cut the lights. Turn off the lights, sweetie. Oh, and see, look, it come back on. I said, cut it off. We ain't gotta light a candle. And y'all feel that cool breeze coming? That's the breeze of hope and joy. I will be back here next week. We'll see J News at the end of the month, but I'll be here next week, okay? For a wonderful episode of the Hit the Ropes podcast. And until then, me and J News want to tell you, peace.